Hey guys, this is Anthony from Cheapo MTV Bro. Coming on the channel to address a few things, and a lot of people have asked me personally if I sold my 2019 Marin San Quentin 1. To answer your question, yes I did. A lot of people are going to ask me, why? You just came from a 2019 Specialized Stump Jumper Short Travel, and then you bought the hardtail and you told us that you were a hardtail guy. To answer the question, yes, I am a hardtail guy. What I like is a slack hardtail, lay down, is a slack hardtail with wide wheels, preferably 34 millimeter or bigger, with 2.6 to 3.0 tires. That's my preference for 90% of my trails. But recently, the reason why I decided to go to the full suspension is, number one, the 2020 Rift Zone was released. I'll get to that momentarily. Number two, I don't know if you've seen a lot of videos, Nate Hills, Trail Peak, a lot of the big riders, BKXC, riding out here in Arizona at National Trail a lot. I went out there, did some shuttling, park the car at the top, park the car at the bottom, start from the top, ride down the hill, drive back to the top. Less climbing. The thing about National Trail or Highline or Hangover is they're very ledgy. There's 1-2 foot drops that you go down that you can roll down, but the problem is when it's ledge after ledge after ledge, it does get a little rough. Trying to concentrate on what your legs are doing as suspension and what your front suspension is doing to get down this trail. So sometimes it get a little squirmy, sometimes I feel like my back end wanted to slide out, which is not the bike, it is more of my skill. Because I don't normally ride black diamond trails consistently. I can, but I don't. My trails are, for the most part, blue-black trails that I like to ride. Now, why did I go for the Rift Zone? Number one thing, head angle. The San Quentin was a 65-degree head angle. This is a 65.5. Slightly steeper. I actually like the 65.5. I said in one of my videos in the past that I wanted the San Quentin or Marin to release a San Quentin with 29-inch wheels or 27.5 plus wheels. I put plus wheels on my San Quentin. The reason being is that material, or maybe it was the bridge seat stay that was in the San Quentin, something would just beat you up. That bike was very jarring, and maybe it was just because it had a little bit different aluminum, Series 2 aluminum instead of Series 3 aluminum on the San Quentin 1 versus the San Quentin 2 and 3. I don't know. I made that bike the way I wanted it to be, but there was just some things about the bike. I should have bought the higher model, but there were just some things about the bike that I wanted to make small changes to, and I didn't want to have to keep purchasing upgrades for it until it became the bike that I wanted. What I wanted was a complete bike that I could ride every day and not say, hey, I wish I had this and I wish I had that. The other thing that I liked about the Rift Zone is the seat angle is virtually the same. I do believe this is actually maybe a half a degree, maybe 0.2 degrees steeper than the San Quentin, but it's very similar. I do love the seating position on this bike. It actually almost feels a little bit more comfortable than the San Quentin as far as the climbing goes. This is a 130 millimeter fork. My San Quentin I upgraded to 140 millimeter fork. It slackened it out quite a bit. You can see it in the thumbnail before the video. That makes it a little tough on uphill switchbacks during climbs to have a super slack head angle. I think 65.5 on the 29er is perfect. The 29-inch wheels do roll a lot better. I took it to Trail 100 out here in Arizona. I took it to AZ Trail up north in Flagstaff, Arizona. These 29-inch wheels do give you a lot of confidence. Now, will you be seeing the San Quentin on the channel again? The answer is yes. I sold it to a good buddy of mine who we just recently got into mountain biking. He's done about 7 or 8 rides, and every ride he rode my San Quentin because he went with my friend. I heard him raving about it and talking about how much he liked my bike, and I decided to reach out to him before I decided to sell it on Craigslist or offer up, and he wanted it, and I gave him a good deal because he was a friend. I could have sold it for a little bit more, but the fact is, that bike made this channel. It's not a very good channel, but it made this channel, and I want to do some comparisons, and I want to ride that bike again. My thing was, if I gave him a deal to make sure that we can swap once in a while. He can ride this bike, I can ride the old bike, and just get some ideas and some stuff for this YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm excited to go back and forth. Now, the Rift Zone. Why the Rift Zone? I love the low standover height. The problem with the San Quentin 1 might be the same thing through the 2 and the 3, is that the small on the San Quentin, the front triangle matched the rear triangle perfectly. It would be very, I don't know how to say it, the same from the front all the way down to the bottom. It looked really aggressive. But when you get to the extra large, they didn't make changes to the aluminum based on the rider's size. So this bar would be way up here with the high standover height, and then just drop down to the rear hub or the rear axle, and it just looked really funny. I didn't like 100% the way it looked, and the standover height was really tall. I had to run a shorter travel dropper post, which is my next upgrade on this, was a 170 millimeter brand X dropper post. This is a fantastic dropper post. I like it just as much, if not better, than my SDG Telus dropper post. It's a little heavy, but it's a flawless dropper post for $135 at Wiggle. I also like the 29 by 2.4 and 2.3 combo in the front and back. That Continental tire, it is I already forgot what it's called. It is the Trail King tire. That tire is beefy, it's grippy, it rolls quickly. It's a really nice tire. I recommend it. It's a very budget friendly tire. This is the Schwalbe Hans Dampf 2.3. Very grippy, a little slow rolling than I want for the rear, but it's a decent tire, very grippy for braking. The next question is, do I plan to do any upgrades on the San Quentin? The short answer is no. But this channel is based on reviewing cheap parts like Amazon specials, things like that, that all of you guys want to purchase, but aren't sure if it's going to be any good. So what I want you guys to do is put in the comments on what you want me to look at and what you want me to review, and at that point, then maybe I'll consider those upgrades, or if they're not upgrades, to remove them from the bike. But I might consider doing some reviews on things like that. That's what this channel is about. It's about my Marin bikes and reviewing cheap ass parts just for you guys out there. So there it is. What I did with my San Quentin, it has been sold. It will be on the channel again, and my future plans on the channel, my 2020 Marin Rift Zone 1. And you guys have a good one. Thanks for tuning in.